Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna do a little rummage and I'm probably gonna call this video something like I Miss Upper Deck Baseball or something along those lines because we're gonna take a look at cards from two sets that Upper Deck released when they had a baseball license. These were released 15 years apart, but they're each really, really cool. And I've kind of been cleaning up and condensing and organizing here in my hobby room. Ran across some of each of these and figured I would lump them together and do a little rummage video. So we're going to start with a set that comes right from the Boom Wax era. This is the 1993 Upper Deck flagship baseball release. And this was a really, really cool set. Groundbreaking at the time as far as the quality of the cards, the clarity of the photos, and the technology used to make these. This is kind of when they finally we're moving past the design that they used the first few years that involved, the base paths on the sides of the card. And instead, you just get a nice upper deck in the background there that is overlapped by the player image to give kind of that 3D effect a la 1988 Topps Baseball. And then you get a simple name banner across the bottom that is team color coded, name in cursive, and then team name and position below with a white border. So just very, very clean design on 93 Upper Deck that has held up well over time, in my opinion. And the back of the cards is equally cool. So just a huge portion of the back of the card dedicated to a separate, cool, unique photo, very legible card number, and then you get, of course, limited statistics based on that large photo, but that was Upper Deck's, game at the time. So these are great. These are from a factory set that I received, the 93 Upper Deck factory set. One, I was a 10-year-old in the summer of 93, and it might have been as I turned 11 for my 11th birthday. Held on to that for a long time. It was pretty beat up, the box and everything. Not really much of a set collector anymore, so I ended up filing a lot of those away in my giveaway or trade box, and I just kept this little stack here, at least in terms of what I've gone through so far. So let's just flip through these. We got Tim Wakefield delivering the famed knuckleball there, so that's fantastic. Tommy Glavine. So you'll see I kept a lot of really just Hall of Famers, Red Sox players, or in this case, really unique photos like this Mike Stanton signing for the fans in front of the I Love Mike Stanton sign. I'm just a total sucker for those kind of candid images on sports cards, and Upper Deck does it better than anyone. Jody Reed for the Red Sox. Here's another signing card here, Mark Portugal. This one is great. Signing a glove. He's got that Tequila Sunrise Astros gear on, sunglasses, and if we get a little closer here, he is, I believe, eating or sucking on a lollipop. So it's just a great Mark Portugal photograph there. And speaking of great photographs, here's Brady Anderson. Looking to maybe try to rob a home run here. Really huge crowd there in Baltimore, you can see behind Brady. So this is maybe some type of a staged photo or something. Got Craig Biggio, Hall of Famer. What a shot there. Just great. Eddie Murray with the Mets. Some nice action there. Kept this Matt Noakes just because who doesn't love somebody hitting off a tee? And you have a military service member in the background. Camera guy here. Just a lot going on in the photograph on that Matt Noakes. It's a nice Robbie Alomar. Nice close-up of him. Looks like sliding into third probably. Sammy Sosa rounding the bases after one of his famous home runs, Don Mattingly. And again, love the 3D effect here of the player overlapping the Upper Deck verbiage at the top of the card. It just makes the players seem larger than life. So the Rocket, Roger Clemens. Ozzie Smith turning two. What a shot there. He's about a foot off the ground, suspended in air, delivering the throw to first. You got Eric Karros sliding in well to the right of the bag there, trying to challenge the Wizard. Here's one of my favorites, one of my favorite players growing up, probably my single favorite player growing up, the great Nolan Ryan. And I love how the ball is right over the first P in Upper Deck there. Just really gives the effect of this pitch coming right at you. And it's almost like you're standing in the batter's box. So just, really, really good job on that card. And here's a look at some of these backs that we haven't been seeing as well. I'm trying to keep the video brief, so I'm not going to show many of these backs. Tony Gwynn in front of Smokey the Bear there. Got multi-sport star Deion Sanders. The Bulldog, shout out to Leo, Oral Hershiser. Ryan Sandberg making a nice grab there in front of the Wrigley Ivy. I mean, the photography here is just insanely good. Mike Mussina, Hall of Famer. Jeff Bagwell, Hall of Famer. Look at the bend in the bat there. Point of contact shot. Got Kenny Lofton, not in the Hall of Fame, but man, he was the guy I'd want in my leadoff spot if I was building an all-90s team. Got a nice Will Clark checklist there. John Olerud, one of my favorite players from back in the day, and a sneaky good non-Hall of Famer. Here's a nice one. The kid, Ken Griffey Jr., of course, when you're kind of condensing down, you tend to hold on to any Griffey cards, or at least I do. And a great back on this one. Look at that. That's just how I remember Griffey. Just awesome stuff. We'll put this one up in the background, actually. Great card there. I'd love to find that one in maybe a PSA 9 someday for cheap coin. Here's Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Jose Canseco in the later career Texas Rangers days here. Got David Justice, who was a big name in the hobby in the early 90s. These Peter Gammons inside the numbers, Jeff Bagwell. And then I kept some of these kind of cool subset cards here. Red October, featuring the Cincinnati Reds. These maybe are a little bit cheesy, but I love these. Something a little different anyway. This is the Four Corners. San Diego Padres. You got some big names on there, including recent Hall of Famer Fred McGriff, and then the great Tony Gwynn. Inaugural catch, because of course this is the season that the Florida Marlins and the Colorado Rockies launched their franchises. That's a cool card there. And then here's one, the Runnin' Redbirds, with Ozzie Smith front and center. Look at the sunset on that card. Just awesome. We got a award winners card. I did keep this Pat Listash Rookie of the Year card for 92. And this 92 batting champ, Edgar Martinez. And then just one or two more here to end it off. Wade Boggs and Doc Gooden. So that's the little stack of 93s I kept. And now let's look at the second set. So this one came out 15 years later, and it was Upper Deck Masterpieces Baseball. So they did this set for 2 years running, 2007 and 2008. Cards that we're going to look at in today's video are from 2008. So this is the second and final year of the Masterpieces product. And check it out. These are paintings, and the card stock, you can kind of tell here, has that textured canvas feel to it. You can see the way the light hits it. So these honestly feel like small little works of art. And they're not all, winner cards like Justin Upton there to start. Here's a chipper. But we've got both active players and retired players on this checklist. So here's a nice Max Scherzer rookie card. That's awesome. We'll put that one up in the background as well. Got a Mark Teixeira. I'm not going to read the names on all these, but just some highlights. Brooks Robinson, love that Orioles patch there. Shoulder patch. It's a nice Yaz. Very youthful looking Yastrzemski. Wade Boggs. Some of the artwork is better than others. Is it Kurt Schilling? Daisuke, of course, being a 2008 set, he was huge in the hobby in 2007, 2008. So that's why he's on the checklist. Big Poppy. Got Jonathan Papelbon doing his famed post-game celebration squat. Got Manny. Alfonso Soriano. Sandberg. Look at that. I mean, that's a great painting. Just beautiful. So I have assembled a good part of this set before I kind of bailed on it. There's a 600 Hall of Fame club and Hall of Fame member. Did I say 600 Hall of Fame club? 600 home run club member, Jim Thome. Love this Joe Morgan. Look at that. Killer. Killer painting. Grady Sizemore. There's a name from the past. It's a nice Justin Verlander. How about that? Got the scoreboard in the background there, and it looks like this is when he's putting the finishing touches on a no-hitter, potentially, against the Brewers. So really, really nice illustration there. Yeah, I mean, these are just gorgeous. So I think this was like a 120 card set, something like that. I want to say the first 90 cards were just base cards. And then there were some short prints. The upper portion of the checklist was short printed. There's a cool AL All-Star jersey of Vlad Sr. Yeah, this one I'm not a huge fan of. It's kind of an awkward looking Robin Yount. He looks kind of alien-like. But yeah, I can appreciate these. They're pretty unique. I guess the closest we get to this these days is Topps Gallery. It's a nice Griffey with the reds. And got a little bit more in the stack here to get through, and we'll see if we can keep this, 15 minutes or so. Try to speed things up here as we move through some of these. Look at that Whitey Ford. How awesome is that? Mariano Rivera, A-Rod, Jabba Chamberlain. Man, there's another guy just like Daisuke who was very hot in the hobby when this set came out. Let's flip through some more of these here. Bill Mazeroski, that's an enjoyable one right there. I really like that. Looks like an old woman coming out onto the field, maybe. I don't know what's going on there. It's a nice Tony Gwynn. Greg Maddux, late career Greg Maddux, looking pretty old there with the Padres. He was close to retired at this point. There's a beautiful Ichiro. Look at that card, gorgeous. So yeah, I really miss Upper Deck baseball. That's kind of the point of today's video and lumping these together. They just did a great job. Beautiful Veritech. Almost to the end here. And now we get to, these are the short prints. So again, I think first 90 cards in the set were standard. Then I've kind of soft sleeved my short prints here. We got Carlton Fisk, Johnny Bench, Nolan Ryan, which is just a gorgeous Astros card. More on that in a second. We got Don Mattingly, Willie Stargell, Pops. Check that one out. Roberto Clemente. This is maybe my favorite card in the set, or one of them. Just absolutely awesome. And then we close it out with Albert Pujols, 700 home run club member. Then I have a couple of these to close it out. They also made these framed parallels, which are exactly what they sound like. They have a raised border, and the painting is inset. So we've got Curt Schilling on the brown, this beautiful Ernie Banks on like a blue frame. And then we close it out with my favorite Masterpieces card in the stack, and this is one I picked up on ComC, the Nolan Ryan short print, but in like a black framed variation. So just a cool card there for the Nolan Ryan collection. So that's it. We're going to keep it under 15 minutes here. Just wanted to give Upper Deck some credit and look at a couple of sets that I really enjoy from their time when they had a baseball license there for 20 or so years, however long it lasted. I certainly miss them in the sport as a licensed producer, and who knows, maybe someday long into the future, many decades from now, we'll see Upper Deck baseball cards again. But if not, I'll continue to enjoy these from the time when they were around. So I appreciate you stopping by to check these out. I hope you enjoyed these as well, or maybe saw a card you hadn't seen before if you haven't been collecting back when these were released. I will certainly be back in the very near future with some more content. And in the meantime, stay safe. Enjoy the hobby, everybody. Take care.